Hey everybody, this is Ryan Hyde, and we are here to give you an introduction to our ESM Week 2024 options. If you don't know, ESM is our program that we started this year. We're going to have some trips, some service, some shadowing uh, possibilities available to our students. So we have enrichment, we have service, and we have ministry options. So a little bit of overview before we get into the trips. Our 2024 ESM week is March 18th through the 22nd, and that's 2024. We do have a live survey available in the app. So if you click the ESM tile, you'll see that survey near the top. This isn't locking you in right now, but it's giving us a good idea of what our group sizes will be. And we would like those submissions to be placed before May 19th, so that gives you roughly 3 weeks to consider the options and click where you think you're going to end up going. I will say that this is it's an official school program. We're going to grant a quarter credit for students participating in these options. So participation is required. It's not an optional program, and we do want you to take a look at the ESM tile in the app and look at those uh, discipline guidelines associated with this. Make sure you read through that. We're going to have students going all over the place, and we want to, of course, represent Christ well. We want to represent our school and our families well, and we have to make sure that our students can be safe as they travel and go on these trips. So there is a possibility that disciplinary issues could remove a student from a trip. That could result in the loss of a deposit or funds that you've already paid as part of the payment plan. So we want to make sure we're aware that this is also the trip portion is a privilege, not a right. And also want to mention here before we get to some of the trip options that the ACE program is new. This is the ACE program. Again, you can see another tile in the app that's going to talk about ACE. Again, we think that the number right now is 300% the poverty level for a family to qualify, and that would bring $1,000 per student that could potentially be used for field trips like this. So that's something that you're going to want to check out. We're still kind of in the early days of using this and actually going through the refund. That's how, or the reimbursement. That's how this program works. Is the family spends the $1,000 per child on an academic activity, and you can then be reimbursed. There's a possible $1,000 where you could get reimbursed for participating in some of these field trips. So I am going to briefly introduce the service and the shadow week options, and then Mr. Carter and Mr. Moore will get into the actual trips that we're going to be offering. So service and shadow week are both open to 7th through 12th grade students. ESM is a 7th through 12th grade program. So as far as the cost goes, there is none. This is your free option. For Service Week, we are going to locate some organizations in the area that need some assistance doing whatever it may be that they need to get going, and we're going to bus the kids over there and give them some help there in the springtime. So again, no cost for that Service Week. And Shadow Week is the same thing. Students have the opportunity to get real job experience. They're going to follow that up at the end of the week with a reflection assignment. And again, both of those options will give those students a quarter credit here at school. So service, shadow, both open for 7th through 12th graders. No cost, those options. Now I'm going to bring up Mr. Carter, and he is going to discuss some of our historical trips.
Hello, everybody. So some of the educational trips that we'll be able to have available this time is one will be going to Boston. And for Boston, the trip company is called Good Comma Tour Company. And this is for 7th through 12th grade students. It is estimated that it's going to be around $1,100 to $1,150 for the week. And that'll include food and the transportation and lodging. Now, this is a week-long trip. Some of the things they get to do there, think of Boston, think of history. It is kind of the hub of rebellion during the American Revolution, just an overall lots of things to see and a great way to experience our history as the United States of America. They'll be going to places like the Old North Church, They'll be able to see the Massachusetts State House, the Freedom Trail. It's just going to be a great time. They're going to see so much and be able to do a lot of things and bring that back to the classroom with them too. Just to really be able to connect the things they learn about in school with being there and firsthand experience. Just a reminder, this is 7th through 12th grade. The next trip we have is to Washington, D.C. This is also 7th through 12th grade. And this is the trip that we've been doing for many years now. I remember when I was a student here, we did the Washington, D.C. trip as well. Washington, D.C., this is through K&K Tours. It's estimated to cost about $1,000. A week-long trip. You're going to see all the main sites, a lot of museums there, tour around. And we've got a really good company that does this tour. We've liked them for many years, and it's a great experience for the students as well. Once again, both of these trips, Boston and Washington, D.C., are for 7th through 12th graders. It's an educational trip, so that it's more of learning our history, learning things, going on that route, not necessarily a missions trip, which Mr. Moore will be talking about next.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mr. Moore, Ben. I am here to I'm excited. We are taking 2 different mission trip options next year, through an organization called Praying Pelican Missions. Personally, I've been on 2 of their trips to the country of Belize. They were incredible to work with, and so we're excited to work with them. The first one is, real quick, both of these trips are only for 9th through 12th grade. So these are 9th through 12th grade students eligible. The first one is a trip to Costa Rica. Tammy Brewer, our Spanish teacher, will be taking this group. She's excited to be in that world, and she's going down. The cost for this trip is going to be about $2,000 plus a passport. There may be some immunizations required. These trips are leaving March 16th, and they're coming back on the 22nd. So that's March 16th through 22nd. Ministry involved in Costa Rica is going to be Sunday through Wednesday, children's ministry, some work projects. Thursday, there's going to be some ministry in the morning, and then a rec day. There's some free options for rec, and there's some some rec options that cost some money. And so we'll be discussing that more in the fall. Now, one of the things we're going to be looking for with these 2 mission trips is there is going to be $100 non-refundable due either during the late summer or early fall, just to lock in those spots because of all the logistics that go into these mission trips. So the first one is Costa Rica, about $2,000, 9th through 12th grade. The second one, same dates, same organization, March 16th through 22nd, 9th through 12th grade eligible. This is a trip to Wilmington, North Carolina. Mr. Carter is going to be leading this trip, coming from North Carolina just recently. He's excited to be back there, doing some service-oriented trips with some recreation, / educational days in there with some historical things as well. This trip's going to be about $1,000. So we've kind of spread these out to where financially there's some different ranges here. Give everybody a great opportunity to do whatever they feel like they can fit into and whatever they can do for this ESM week. We're excited. Again, be looking for more information for all of these trips. And Mr. Hyde will close us out here.
Okay, to close this out, I want to mention one more trip that's not going to be on our 2024 schedule, but we're working to get this on our 2025 schedule, and that is a trip to Israel. We researched the possibility of trying to do this next year, but it was a really big trip, and we were on a short window to pull that together to make it happen for next year. So we decided to hit pause and recognize this was a big undertaking, and we wanted to make sure that we were doing it right. So giving you this information well in advance, 2025, we do have an Israel trip that we're planning to put on the docket, so you can begin to possibly make plans now. And we're still in the early stages, so we're not locking anything in yet. But it appears that this trip will likely be for upperclassmen and even alumni. So if you're a senior next year and you're going to miss out on that Israel trip, and that would have been one that you would have been interested in, just hang tight, and there may be a chance for you to go in the future. So for now, get into the app, make those initial selections, and we're excited to get things kicked off for ESM Week 2024.